Good evening. Welcome back to Let's Talk with Tammy, brought to you by Beginner Resources. Beginner Resources is a consulting company that works with individuals, businesses, schools, and organizations. They have a 10-year-long track record in conducting seminars, workshops, and individual services on personal branding and appearances. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, the show features interesting personalities from all walks of life, sharing profound insights into relevant topics. And I'm Tammy, your host. And the basis of this show has always been about sharing my personal journey with you as I'm learning about anything that piques my interest. So, for today's episode, we're going to be talking about personal finance. And for that, I have Zee today with us this evening. Hi, Zee.
Hello, good evening.
I'm so thankful that you said okay. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Most pleasure.
So I would like to just read an introduction about you for our viewers so everybody will know like what we're going to talk about and why are you here this evening. So Zimi actually graduated with a degree in banking in finance, but then she started her first career in event management and she did that for about 3 years before she decided to return to her pet interest of finance by joining the financial planning sector. In a couple of months of searching for high and low, she discovered her ideal company and become a financial integrator, finally home with her first love. And she believes that everyone can be a millionaire if one's financial portfolio is well managed from an early age. Of course, with professional guidance, self direction, and commitment, anyone will sail through their life with the least concern for their money. So, Zimi, I want to talk about how we first met. We met for a promotional video for Hyatt Lee, and it was a fun video where we had to talk and get to know each other, ask each other questions, but without telling what we were working as. And I think it took us the longest to figure out what you were doing. And I
Yeah,
think I came close with saying financial advisor, but then you dropped this word financial integrator, and it was the first time in my life of me hearing that term, financial integrator. So can you
exactly.
tell us a little bit about what is the meaning of financial integrator and how is it different from financial advisor?
Okay. Let me excuse me first because I'm having a project English right now. So I try my best to explain to everyone that with my own language. I hope you understand.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So I'm having a bad cough now. So pardon me. I'm blasting your speaker right now. What is the difference between a financial integrator and also a financial advisor?
Mhm.
So in the market right now, when people talk about the financial advisor, basically they only look at the financial portfolio,
Right.
okay,
Right.
according to their goals. But of
Mm.
course, in the real market, some people might get a push because they may be focused on one sector of finance. For example, let's say they are in investment sector or they are
Mm.
in insurance sector. Then the
Okay.
financial advisor will advise you.
Mm.
In summary, they don't give you a complete picture. But
Okay.
yes, but me as a financial integrator, we are actually doing a 5 person's job because we're
Right.
working with 5 I. The 5 I. The first I will be income, then
Mm-hmm.
insurance, investment, income tax, and
Mm-hmm.
also taxes. In summary, that we are actually doing an
Right.
integration. No gap, I can say that,
Mm.
so that your portfolio will
Mm-hmm.
not be in one area for too much and not for too little. It's like just nice with the balance up. Because we
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
are looking for the five main areas to ensure that there's harmony to achieve the customer's goals.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense because sometimes because when it comes to personal finance, there's so many layers to it, and if there's the people is only looking at one aspect of your life or one aspect of your investment, to
Yeah,
say, then how is it going to affect your other parts of your financial
exactly.
segment, right? So it's good for you to have a full picture, and then you can give better advice for your clients. Am I right?
And also we try not to push the products because for products it's only a tools for us to
Right.
have solutions because we are doing a strategized solutioning for our customers and based
Mm-hmm.
on what they want to achieve in their lives. And if we don't integrate, it will cost like over investment, you have under investment. So every
Right.
time we see them like we'll be doing only investment, insurance and insurance.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But our concept is we have to have a total look on our goals and budgets and the priorities and
Right.
other things that we need to consider in life.
Okay.
There's no such one thing is better than the rest. It's all about the balance in relationship to budget, the goal, or even the nature of the job. Because especially on occupational risk right now is due to COVID pandemic.
Okay.
So a lot of people might lose their job right now and they do not have any income. If they don't have any income, definitely they cannot do some finance things and they might not be having enough living costs. We are not only in financial aspect, but the customer's life and also the lifestyle. So that we
Okay.
do a complete financial integration.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned earlier that you said tools and then you said services. So what kind of services do you provide for your clients, like apart from advice?
A good question. This is normally what people will ask me.
Okay.
Our services will be full planning that cover 5I in their life that I mentioned earlier, or segmented planning.
Okay.
Segmented planning will be one of the 5I. So maybe
Okay.
some of them maybe just want to review their investment portfolio, they want a second opinion, or they want to have a retirement planning, like about their inheritance and etc. So our
Right.
service is like servicing both sides.
Mm.
Because we're using our specialty as 4R.
Right.
The one part of this R will be review on what are the situation you are
Right.
in finance or in your lifestyle or in your life, what do you do? And then the second R will be reallocate. Reallocate as like, okay, we want to have this kind of budget. And how do we allocate for it? Reallocate as in, how can you put at a better place?
Okay.
Would be restructure. Restructure will be in, if let's say I'm telling you, you're giving me all your finance informations. After I study and revise, then I will just advise you that this is not needed. Then I will advise you to drop that or close that.
Okay.
That's needed lah. Okay. So for the fourth one and also the last one is very important, rebalancing. The rebalancing, let me give an example or I ask you, let's say my insurance is this less, but my investment is this much.
Okay.
I think I can, if I'm in sick, if I'm in sickness, do you think I have enough to cover for my living costs?
No.
Yeah, that might be no, right?
Yes.
Because if I don't have enough insurance, I might have to cash out my investment for
True.
my living costs or other things that I want to have in life for to support my sickness or to
Yep.
recovery. So
Yep.
that will not be the purpose of our investment. So we have to be a balance in between all the 5I.
Right.
Yes. So there will be a full planning for covering the 5I or even a segmented cover one. It depends on the customer's decisions. After we
Okay.
have everything lah.
So
Because
basically, you provide advice, and then of course you let them to decide whether or not they want to take your advice.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Because I think you have seen the news today, like every day in Malaysia here, we have 18 persons that declare bankrupt in the first 5 months of 2022.
Mm.
According to the insolvency department, that they say that already 58% of the person who age 25 to 44, they already
Right.
declared bankruptcy. It's a very, very worrying situation now. And the reason why they want to declare bankrupt is personal loan,
Mm.
loan, and even credit card.
Right.
And some more, the Insolvency Act has already increased its bankruptcy threshold from 50K, 50,000 to 100,000. So you
Right.
can see the situation now is very, very serious already. It's very
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so before we fall into this kind of category, we have to think twice. Or maybe you can find a financial integrator to count for you before you apply any loan.
Right.
Okay, so it might be if you are not doing anything, you are not doing any calculations before you get any loan, we might end up as a debt person.
Right. Okay.
So this should be the awareness that I should bring up to everyone.
Okay.
Mm.
So that's the thing that you guys do, lah. So basically, you advise on those kind of things. So
Yes.
that's what you meant by tools, is it?
Yes, exactly.
Right. Okay. Okay. I see quite a number of viewers. So if you have questions for Zee Mee, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I'll be sure to share them on screen for Zee Mee to answer them. Okay, so Zee Mee, obviously, when we seek for financial integrators, right, we want to make sure that they really understand our situation. At the end of the day, personal finance is personal. Like everybody's background, everybody's circumstances are different, and they would want somebody who can understand where they are coming from and how they look at money. So, if I were to ask you, what is your investment philosophy? What would you say?
For the investment philosophy, there are a lot. I think everyone who do investment, they would read Warren Buffett for the stocks market and things like that. So
Mm.
on my side, I will only say for me is we have a sixth philosophy. That's very
Right.
important. I'm just in short, and I'm just explaining one of them is asset
Mhm.
allocations. Because of this, we need to know my risk appetite or my client's risk appetite and also the tenor of the investment.
Right.
Takkan you have 2 years time to buy the house, to buy your own house, and you want to put money and super high risk of investment that might not guarantee you for the return, right? So it does not
True.
make sense.
Right.
Basically, it's not to how find one to match yours, and it's not look at your investment only.
Mm.
You have to look at our budget and also
Right.
our goal.
Okay.
The goal would be you want to get married, you want to go for overseas travel, or even can be a children education. So
Right.
it's knowing who and what you want, who
Mm.
you are and what you want, that then the investment will fit you. So
Okay.
it's not about what you like about the investment,
Mm.
because then only will go for how to make more money, and even we can know where you can start from there. So
Mm.
in summary, I can say that it's all depend on the customer's perspective. If
Okay.
the customer they want to have a quiet, stable retirement, then the investment must match and reflect his kind of like goals. So
Mm.
it's not about the investment outside of him, but it's the
Mm-hmm.
investment in relation to him.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as a financial integrator, we need to spend time and also ensure to know what they want and
Mm.
explain the pros and cons for each priorities and also the goals they want to have. Lah.
Mm. Okay.
Especially now, I think the inflation is coming. Yeah, everyone is expecting and also have already watched the news that the inflation is coming by next month.
Yeah.
This investment, this thing is an external threat.
Yep.
It cannot be avoided one.
Yep.
Once the inflation comes, we have to go for it also. Or we
Mm.
have to find ways like how can we reduce our living costs and also
Yes.
how do we save money.
Mm.
Also, the food inflation is coming, right?
Yes. Yes.
Like all the chickens, all the meats, like all the eggs, even though the oil is increasing their prices.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Yep.
the inflation is coming, the living costs also increase.
Definitely. Yep.
When the living costs increase, that means we have less savings.
Yep.
Okay, so
Mm.
why do we have inflation? Is because of Ministry of Domestic Trade and also the Consumer Affairs that really remove this kind of subsidy lah.
Mm-hmm.
So even the car that will reapply or reuse the SSD by next month. So many people will just struggle, oh no, should I buy my car? Should I buy a new car by this week or month or not? So many people might think that and they would just need my advice that whether should I buy.
Mm.
So I do the calculations for them and ask them to think precisely, to think
Mm.
carefully whether you want to buy or not. So I go
Mm.
and talk for them and then I say, okay, if you cannot afford right now, please just drag your this kind of goal to later years until
Mm.
you can afford. Otherwise, you will be a debtor person. And secondly, it will affect your goal.
Right.
It will affect your goal, especially when you want to go for retire. Because what
Mm.
happens to Malaysian when they retire is we do not have enough money
Mm.
to retire. If we only depends on EPF, definitely we cannot have enough money, right?
Nope.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I believe there's another news from the stars is right now we have less than I think it's only 3% of the population has enough money for their retirement.
Yes. Correct. That's
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah, and then the other 73%, their EPF account amount until today, right, has already less than 10,000 ringgit.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's another thing that should we withdraw our EPF for now?
Mm.
It's a very big topic right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
So people might ask, or even they would know, hey, should I withdraw my EPF? Should I withdraw or not? So I will also like discuss with them what is the consequences to withdraw, and then what are the pros and cons that you are not withdrawing your money from the EPF. So via withdraw, if
Mm-hmm.
it's for living costs, then it's okay because
Yeah.
you can afford it right now. But it's for
Correct.
unnecessary spending, then no point for it because your money is not creating value for you.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, because last year was 6.1% of the return. It's a
Mm-hmm.
quite a good performance compared to 2020. 2020 were only 5 point plus % only. Lah.
Mm.
5.6 or 5.7 if I'm not mistaken. And then if we are not withdrawing, then we can use our money for the value.
Mm.
I need to tell everyone that EPF is only one of the two that we can go for your retirement. It's not
Yeah.
enough for everyone's retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to carefully count for it, and
Mm-hmm.
also we have to take care of it,
You're right.
especially on the investment side.
Mm. And I was reading about financial advisors because there isn't many articles actually about financial integrators. So I'm not too sure. Maybe it's not too common to have financial integrators, right? So they were saying about what are the instances where you might need financial advisors, like if you want to have a retirement plan, or now that you have a partner, you want to see how are you going to have spend your money together with another partner, or like what you said, for children's education or for early retirement and things like that, right? So as a financial integrator, do you have a specific type of clients, or do you work with all kind of people from all walks of life?
Okay. In that case, to be honest, all of us need money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
these 5 I, like the investment, the income tax, inheritance, or even the insurance, are involving everyone's life.
True.
We don't specialize in any clients, but of course we prefer high net worth lah. So the more
Mm,
money you have, you can have more clients and more things you can play around, right? But on
yes.
the other hand, the
Mm-hmm.
extent of help to people that who do not know how to manage their portfolio.
Mm,
Because I would love to share the importance of financial integration, and also after they knowing it already, when you see their portfolio is growing, then you'll be happier.
right.
When they are from like 3 digits to 5 digits and even more digits, then you'll be very fulfilling. Because everyone know how to earn money, but
Mm,
we must also know how to manage our money.
mm,
Otherwise, we finish the money one day.
yep.
Yeah.
That's very true. Okay. So you can, I mean, you don't really have I only work with clients with this income bracket, no such thing, right?
Income bracket. What do you mean by income bracket?
Like as in, like, I only work with people who make maybe 10K and above a month or something
Mm,
like that, no such thing,
mm.
right?
Not necessary of that. I have
Mhm.
already, um, let's say I have a client who has 2,000 a month.
Mm, mm,
And for this type of client, I would suggest for yes, you must have the financial integration. Why? After calculating of everything you spend, and yes, you have not reached the stage of inheritance, but the first four you can do it, or even the first three. Income tax, yes, you might not have reached the bracket of the income tax, but the
yes.
first two you must have as your basic.
Mm,
Because from there, you will know that, okay, let's say I'm having a 2,000 of income. Then we will count for you, and we will do an income projection for you, that if there's a better opportunity, you can go for this range of salary. Then it
mm,
will be like easier for your life and also convenient. And you can reach and also achieve your target earlier or faster.
mm,
My intention for them, like no matter you are in what range of salary, yes, you definitely need a financial integrator to what they call to manage your money and also portfolio.
mm. Okay. So let's say, for example, like, okay, I would like to have an advice from a financial integrator, right? So let's say
Mm.
you are my financial integrator. So how would our relationship work? Like, how often we have to meet, and how does that go from that point onwards?
Okay, in that sense, my relationship to my customer, so we are actually the chief financial officer lah, the chief finance
Right.
CFO, I can say that, because
Mm-hmm.
they are running their life. When they are
Right.
running their life, it's like a company. So when they go to work, so they are the transport minister. When they
Yes.
home, they are the home minister. So
Mm.
the home is like their country or company in their whole life. They are running it.
Yes.
So when they are running the company or their life going bigger and bigger, they definitely need a CFO one.
Mm.
So I, as a financial integrator, is the customer CFO. Okay, so when I work for the customer will work with us as their
Mm.
profile already going, because the profile might be going up and down, changes in finances, lifestyle, or even the marital status. They will
Mm-hmm.
call us and they will give us a call. Hey Zini, I want to get married by next month. I'm like,
Okay.
huh? Very surprisingly, so we have to change the plan again because
Mm.
things might be changes differently by different timeline. We cannot go for according to this
Correct.
plan like that. And there
Mm.
will be like emergencies or something like that. So same like a company, any changes CFO needs to be aware. So
Okay.
our relationship to the customer is very intimate.
Mm. Yeah.
Customer financials, habits, lifestyle, trends, and etc. So it's like a CFO, they need to know in detail about
Mm.
the company, in and out, up and down, and similar like to company finance. So it's about the customer and his life, and our relationship will be very close and intimate.
Okay.
Mm.
So, I mean, you're going to know so much about your customers, right? So,
Mm.
like, how do you keep track? Like, you may have like maybe 10, 20 clients at one time. So, how
Exactly.
do you keep track of all their, progress, or if there's any changes to their timeline? You need to remember their contacts, remember their background again. So, how do you keep track of all that?
There's a very challenging things, but I
Mm.
believe many of us will have a like draft or even a system that will drop down their
Mm-hmm.
habits or even their profiles or
Yeah.
characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
So if let's say one consultant or one, I can say one financial integrator, they have a few hundreds of clients, and how can they handle or how do we handle?
Yeah.
So we go from there, and also before they becoming our clients, we have to clarify what is their roles and also
Mm.
what are my roles.
Mm.
So be clear that, and if there's any changes, okay, let's say we have a planning for your house and also your retirement because you're single right now. Okay, give you an example. So you want to
Mm-hmm.
have a house as your goal and you want to have a retirement as your goal.
Yes.
But then I will let him to know or let him know that okay, this is your current goal now. So if let's say in the future there is any changes in between the timeline, you must let me know.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
For example, if let's say, okay, my budget is already constrained, or maybe I get fired by my boss and I lost my job for a few months, uh, I cannot do this planning anymore. So
Sure.
I'm telling him, no, you cannot stop. But you need to tell me that you are in this kind of situations. Then we have to rediscuss. We have to discuss again what can we do from that. Or maybe I can help you to form connections that you can get another job or having a better opportunity.
Mm.
Yes, you can stop for a while, but I don't want to make the planning as a burden to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the other situations would be like, let's say wow, I get married by next month. So these are very emergency situations. So we
Mm.
need to see how can we get the money from there, or there's any investors for your weddings, like that, and etc. So
Mm.
especially, I have another cases will be a home buyer, lah.
Mm.
Especially right now in the market is very challenging.
Mm.
And before they want to buy a house, definitely I will ask them, you want to go for a self living or you want to get it as an investment?
Mm.
Because I need to be extra carefully.
True.
you need to think, you need to consider of your capability and on your ability that you're able to pay the loan or not. Because it's not a short term, it's a long term. This house you
Yeah.
have to pay 30 years, There's
Yeah.
also the interest rate has already increased. And also,
Mm.
I believe the existing house owner and homeowner, they're already paying for interest lah, the latest interest rate. But why are we having this kind of high interest rate? Is because of high borrowing costs.
Mm.
Okay, and then some more the government they want to raise the interest rate and also to cool off the inflation. So the OPR that has already increased. To be honest, they are doing a very good job already, I can say. The OPR has decreased at least from 3% is the lowest like 3 years ago, and then they go
Mhm.
to 0.75%
Yeah.
year 2019. And then now they go to almost increase almost to 2%. Why they decreased to so much is because of the COVID, because of
Mm.
the COVID-19. So now the BNM, the Bank Negara Malaysia, has already increased back to 2%, which is not as serious as a few years ago lah.
Yeah.
Because they are thinking of reopening the global economy and
Yeah.
also improve for the labor market conditions and want to support the recovery of the whole country's economy and GDP.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are really want to buy a house, please think twice or you want to find a financial integrator. Do not make such a crazy move that I want to sign the SFP already. No. Yes, the first 3 months is your asset. It may return into your liability if you're not able to pay it.
Yes.
There is another way. There's another way that you can make it as a liability now because you have to pay for the loan. You're
Mm-hmm.
owing. Okay.
Yes.
You can make it as your asset earlier.
Okay.
Another way to do it from your liability turn into your asset.
Mm.
Yes. So that is our situation now in Malaysia.
Okay.
Mm.
So, like you said, now the situation is it is a very trying situation. There's like so much of issues these days. There's recession coming, there's inflation, and all those things. So it is important to not make any rash, big decisions like getting a house or things like that, right? So let's say, what are the things that I should ask myself before getting a financial integrator? Like, how do I know that I'm ready now to get a financial? Have you had like situations where you give them advice and they don't follow your advice?
Yeah, yes. My colleagues they have some situations like that, and
Hmm.
they are in several conditions that because of husband and wife, right?
Right.
And they want to have a property because we were consulted her that you shouldn't get a property now because you'll be a very very burden, a big burden for your financial portfolio now.
Hmm.
And like 2 months or I mean about half year later, she decided to buy a house without
Okay.
letting us know. So this is a critical situation for us.
Right.
And also
Okay.
she said that she want to stop all the planning because of the house. So you
Hmm.
can tell, yes, you buy a house, then definitely it will not a liability. And it will affect your goals, especially for your retirement.
Hmm.
So from there, how do we settle it? Is yes, we have to relook the portfolio and ask her to get a better income now because she has a crazy move that she want to have a house.
Hmm.
So consulted her for the other solutions that is maybe cut down a bit of her expenses since she only have to pay for interest rate now.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so uh, just now you say what are the questions you have to ask yourself
Yes.
before you're taking a financial integrator. So
Yes.
I would
Because
say
that you're ready, and then it's not like you get somebody's advice and then you don't follow. Then what's the point?
yeah.
Hmm.
So maybe there are some people with a request, or the only thing I can say, the only thing you want to ask yourself is, do I want 5 advisors that don't talk to each other,
Hmm.
like they're blamed for each other, or do you want one person who knows everything about you and give you the integrated and synergetic financial solution? Like for
Hmm.
example, like you're buying a house, definitely you have to go for banker for the loan.
Yeah.
And then you have a designer to design your house that is according to your mind, and you have an architect if that's needed, or even the renovation, the
Yes.
renovator.
Hmm.
Okay, so this will be a very, very headache things that we have to think of because this is not in our what you call professions.
Mm.
It's not in our professions and summer is very, very hectic. We have
Right.
already the full-time job there and still have to worry about the house.
Mm.
There will be a clashes in terms of budget and managing. And
Mm.
also maybe the sequence will be differently lah. Like living room, you have to look very modern. Then your bathroom will be look like wooden concept. Then your bedroom is a vintage concept. Then will be clashes already.
Yes.
So the only question is to ask, do I want a harmony and synergize in my financial life?
Mm.
So I would say come and find us and we will do it for you because there will be no overlaps or gaps in your financial portfolio.
Mm.
So
Okay.
what are the example or what is overlaps is if let's say
Mm.
everyone will go for investment. So the
Yes.
investment advisor would say, okay, I want your money. And insurance advisor will ask to say that I want your money. And insurance will say, we are more important. And person say, we are also important equally. How? So the other thing that you need to ask yourself again, but it's all similar question.
Mm.
So the thing bigger is, do you want a helicopter that can view everything? You can see everything in detail from your eyes. You have to look, and then you can see from all the five eyes together. Or you
Right.
want to ride a motorbike that is only can see from left, front, and right by
Mm.
yourself. So it's like it doesn't make sense if you want to have your credit and debit for your account, right? You do not want to have four accountants to do all your debit and credit accounts. So you want to have one person to know all the macro and micro. Then it's time to get a financial integrator to ensure that is no overlaps or gaps in the financial landscape.
Mm. Okay. All right. That makes sense. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. It's just that it's funny how nobody is talking about financial integrators, or nobody has been. Not many people are aware even that such, such people exist that can really help us to get us like a bird's eye view of your whole financial situation, so that you know what to do, right? So, okay, I have a couple of questions from, I shared the story on Instagram yesterday and I had a couple of questions, right? So,
Okay.
the first question was, what would your advice be considering how now, the recession is coming and things like that? What
Mm.
kind of assets do you think would be viable to invest on?
Oh my God, these questions I cannot answer you like correctly or precisely because investment right now in the market is I can say there are plenty of investment tools in the market, and
Mm-hmm.
the market right now is dropping,
Mm-hmm.
and you can start to do your dollar cost averaging. But I can say that I would advise you have to think carefully. You cannot put large amount in equity. Equity is considered a very high risk of investment. So
Right.
you have to like leverage big, you have to put here and then low risk and high risk. Because
Mm-mm.
from our side is we have already received not news lah, but it's normal news from Yahoo Finance and everything there. And they would expect another recession.
Mm.
Yeah, we are already going into recessions and we are expecting more and more things are coming in like going into real bull market.
Mm-mm.
Also, summer there is a US election coming on this year end. If not mistakenly, it's November, and we have to see the market.
Mm.
For the market, I cannot guarantee you like which kind of tools or funds or investment or stocks that can make you returns. But I can
Mm.
say we go for safe right now because you
Mm.
cannot prepare for any um, losses or returns.
Right.
And
Okay.
this kind of returns, we have to see what do you want to achieve for your goal. Why
Mm.
do you want to invest? This is the first thing I need to know. Why do you want to invest? Will
Mm.
it be your house funds? Will it be your children educations or even that is retirement money? So we need to clearly think about that and also different be a short term strategy and also a long term strategy. We play around on that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were saying about how it's all currently the markets are down, and
Mm.
for those people who have invested in a lot of equities and stock markets and unit trust fund, And right now, whenever they open their portfolio, it's all red.
Yeah.
So what would you tell them? Like, because people tend to get scared and they start selling at a loss, right? So what would your advice be? Should we just keep it, wait? I mean, especially if the money is just there for your savings and for long-term purposes, wouldn't it be better to just leave it there rather than, selling it at a loss?
Okay, that would be a quick questions.
Mm.
As for my clients, I would suggest them, or before they are implementing any solutions, or before they are opening any investment accounts, I would let them know that, excuse me, are you okay with a market that is dropping into negative 20%? Can you bear for that risk?
Mm.
Can you handle that pain?
Yes.
You can handle, okay, that's okay. So definitely the negative 20% is an expectation from outside, and definitely they will go for, especially in unit trust, they will need some time for it to bounce back into positive return again.
Mm.
So would you want to stop or leave the investment alone if there is a dropping? So there will be two suggestions for my customers usually.
Mm-hmm.
First one, okay, if you cannot take the risk again, you can just hold it. If
Mm.
it's even if it's for a short term goal or for a long term goal. If for a short term goal you cannot take the risk already, yes, we have to switch into a lower risk of investments. And also the second choice is yes, you can buy more now
Mm.
because it's a cheaper unit, so you can buy more
Yes.
now and then store it, and for your futures it will be bouncing back.
Mm-mm-mm.
Give me some patience, some time for it to grow. So these are my two suggestions for my clients usually.
Okay, that's a good advice because I think a lot of us, especially millennials, I feel like they're much more financially savvy because when it comes to finance, they try to put aside a bit of their saving into investment and things like that. But I know a lot of people are currently scared because whenever they open their portfolio, everything is just red. So I think that's a good advice because I think it all depends on what you're planning to do. What are your plans for the money that you are investing? If it's for
Yes.
long term, I think it's good to just hold it. And like what you said, if you want, if even better is to just buy cheap at this point.
Yeah, because of the turbulence right now due to a COVID pandemic and also the economy in China, US trade war and also the Ukraine war, because of these many uncertainties, and we Malaysia here, we are not insulated. And we
Yes.
are subjected to this kind of open system that anything happen to US, China, UK, Singapore, Hong Kong, that affect us, and it definitely affect us too. So in that context, I would say, yes, start early.
Mm.
Need to consult a financial integrator at least like a financial health check to see where you are now and which part is healthy or not
Mm.
healthy. So don't wait for the small tumor and then wait for it to go like cancer. It's too late already.
Yep.
So having a financial integration, that there's no difference from having your own family doctor or lawyer. So
Mm.
you have your own family financial integrator. So it's like I can say it's a necessity, is not a luxury lah.
Mm. I
Mm.
think it's good. I feel like a lot of people tend to think that financial advisors are only for people who have too much money to handle and they don't know what to do with it, or and a lot of people think that it's okay. I'm good with my money. I save money, and I'm good. So I think it's important for people to know that there are gaps in their knowledge when it comes to personal finance, and it's okay to hire somebody to handle that if you feel like you're not that good in it, or you do not have enough information or knowledge to handle your own money. So when it comes to, like, we were talking about how we need to hold our markets, don't sell and things like that, right? But if I were to ask you for one main financial advice to people considering current climate, what would you say?
I would say youngsters or any age of you, do it now. Hire a financial integrator. So before your boat lost direction and strength by the wind, maybe this strength by the wind to the north and you go for south. And the
Mm-hmm.
south wind strength you by north and you go to east or somewhere else. So the sooner you get a financial integrator, the better and easier for you to reach your destination in life. So there's no harm, And also, there's no such things of I start too early. I only has more cash. I only has more savings. 200 ringgit, 100 ringgit is also money. So
Yep.
you have to fully utilize of it to reach what do you want in life. Maybe you don't want a luxury life, but
Mhm.
for a better lifestyle. Yes, that's my concern to everyone.
Mm. Okay. Right. I think with that we can wrap it up. I feel like I really hope that through this episode people understand that it's okay to have somebody to look into your finances. If it's just going to be like what you said, right? If you can have a family doctor, you
Yeah.
can have a family CFO as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you got it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Zimi, for spending the evening with us tonight. I know it's a Friday night, but thank you for spending the night with us. And I hope everyone who is listening in, gain something out of it. And of course, you can. How do we contact you, Zimi, if we want to, know more about your services and things like that? Is it through your Instagram?
My Instagram or even my company profiles or even anywhere with SKI Wealth companies or myself also can.
Okay, sure. Because I will be sharing a short snippet of this video later, and I will be tagging you and your professional account as well. So I think those of you who are interested, you can always go through the tag. Okay, so that's it for tonight. So if you have been watching, or if you want to follow from the beginning, all episodes of Let's Talk will be on YouTube, Beginner Resources, and on Spotify. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.